El Salto Falls look like something you would expect to see in San Diego's backcountry, with water foaming down over granite rocks to the creek below. But these falls are just minutes from Highway 78 in North County. They were very nearly graded over to make way for commercial development, but narrowly survived, closely surrounded by pads now lying in wait for hundreds of new homes. Todd Galarneau is Senior Project Manager with McMillin, the developer. He says the city of Carlsbad's habitat management plan specified 45% of the site should remain open space, but he says McMillin flipped that.
We provide 56% open space and only 44% of the site is developed. And at the same time, we protect Buena Vista Creek, El Salto Falls, and all the important historic and cultural resources on the site. So we think it strikes a very good balance.
The Quarry Creek development project is a good example of the struggle to balance the respect for the past with the needs of the future. The developer, McMillin, says they need to build 656 houses in this valley to make this project viable. The city of Carlsbad says it needs 500 homes to meet their commitment for affordable housing. And Van Lynch, a senior planner for Carlsbad, says that's why this project is so important for the city.
We do have the housing element that talks about 500 units here. It is a good site for housing, being that it's adjacent to commercial services, hospitals. We've got the junior college, you got the transportation corridors of Highway 78, bus service to the area, so it is a natural site for higher density housing.
The site of the old rock quarry near El Salto Falls will fit 500 homes, but the houses would stretch down the valley to what is known as the Panhandle. It is where Buena Vista Creek runs past the old Marrone adobe, built in 1839 and one of the original Mexican land grants. Diane Nygaard, a local resident, says Carlsbad's Open Space Committee identified this valley as the #1 piece of open space to save in the whole city. But the landowner, Hanson Aggregates, had already agreed to sell the land to McMillin.
Here we are on the grounds of the adobe, looking across the valley, and the Panhandle part would extend from just behind you all the way across this view. So we're saying take those 100 or so houses that would be here, move them onto this part, or reduce the number of units.
Nygaard says there are other adobes in San Diego, but not with the sense of place of the Marrone adobe. And she says because of the freshwater creek and the coastal Buena Vista Lagoon only 3 miles away, native people have lived in this valley for thousands of years.
People who really study our local history, Save Our Heritage organization, SOHO, has identified this as one of the 12 most important endangered historic sites in all of San Diego County. So that makes it pretty significant. It's not just a local Carlsbad site, even though it's very important to Carlsbad history. It's not just North County, it's all of San Diego County, and it's this key part of early California history. So it makes it really important to all of us. We think there's a way that everybody can come out of this hole. The developer just doesn't get huge windfall profits.
But Todd Galarneau of McMillin says building all the homes on the old quarry site is just not feasible.
What occurs is that the units become smaller, they become more dense, and there's more 3-story units, and as a consequence, the average sales price drops significantly.
Galarneau says the price of the homes would not cover the cost of developing utilities and traffic mitigation, which he says is a costly part of the project.
We've analyzed a number of alternatives to the project in response to input we received from the community, and we do not believe there's an economically viable development plan for the property that doesn't include some reasonable use of the Panhandle property.
Nygaard isn't giving up.
Our vision is for what we call the Waterfall to the Waves Trail. We could have a trail all the way from the Sacred Waterfall at the head of the valley, through this entire area, all the way to the coast. It's still possible. If we lose this, then those things are no longer possible.
Carlsbad's Planning Commission will consider its options tonight before sending a recommendation to the full City Council. In North County, Alison St. John, KPBS News.